Thank you. Good morning. I want to wish you a warm welcome on behalf of EIT Digital. So it's a branch of the European Institute of Innovation and Technology. The branch was formed in 2010 under the name EIT ICT Labs, with the main objective to strengthen the ICT competencies in Europe in terms of business innovation, also entrepreneurial education. And then last year the name was changed into EIT Digital with a broader objective to drive the digital transformation in Europe. So we believe through the action line of for privacy, security and trust that there is a strong need to reconcile on one hand cyber privacy and cyber security, and on the other cyber investigation and cyber surveillance, in order to promote business solutions in this area, especially for data protection. The topic is very much connected to fundamental human rights, so we believe, I believe, that it shouldn't be left only to government agencies on one side and big corporates on the other, because both of them are involved in this mass data collection with different objectives, of course. But also we should involve a broader public, other European organizations and institutions in order to find urgent solutions in this area. So this series of events has also a scope to raise awareness, to have you involved in discussions, but hopefully also to find some solutions. So this is also one of the objectives. So I will proceed with a more technical presentation about the cyberspace jungle and the current situation in the area. I would like to indicate the needs for some changes there, for some new solutions, and I would like also to point out some elements of the new solutions. So where we are and what to do. The downer, okay. So let me first start with the three security dimensions in cyberspace. So there are cyber security, cyber privacy, and cyber surveillance and monitoring. So cyber security is related to resistance to cyber attacks on data security. So data security itself has three dimensions. It's well known: confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data. Cyber privacy is related to protection of sensitive data, so not only personal, by users' control and by data security. So they're very much related, cyber security and cyber privacy. But we have this very important issue of users' control. So they should control during the whole life cycle the sensitive data, like personal data. And then there is a third dimension. It's related to cyber monitoring and cyber surveillance and cyber investigation. So this is useful for government agencies and law enforcement to detect and investigate social threats and crimes in cyberspace and physical world. So it's quite a legitimate need. And then, of course, due to this data collection and analytics, there is a trade-off between cybersecurity and privacy on one hand and cyber surveillance on the other. But contrary to common belief, which is spread everywhere, there is no trade-off between cybersecurity and cyber privacy. See, we want to reach both of them. There is trade-off in the physical world between privacy and security, you know, surveillance, cameras, and whatever. But when you move to digital world, to cyberspace, there is no trade-off, because, for example, if you don't protect sensitive data, then the data is subject to vulnerable to attacks, also by unsophisticated attackers. So you don't have cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is different from physical security. So we want to achieve, in fact, the objective also in the innovation activities that we promote in EIT Digital in the area of privacy and security. We want to achieve all three dimensions. So this is the ideal objective. But the current situation is not so fortunate. So there are backdoors everywhere. Some people say everything is broken. The point is that mass cyber surveillance practices by NSA, as revealed by Snowden, and other intelligence agencies heavily undermine privacy, basic civil liberties, and other fundamental human rights. So we don't want mass cyber surveillance. Through interaction with ICT system providers and zero-day attack community, like hackers, government agencies have implanted or sanctioned exploitable critical vulnerabilities as backdoors to most existing ICT systems. So the vulnerabilities are not disclosed. After they get disclosed, they are no longer backdoors. Because typically backdoors, for example, in software are easily to patch. And then, of course, on the other side, the growing complexity of ICT systems, especially software, has also contributed to the current situation with backdoors, with these vulnerabilities that can become backdoors after they are detected. As a consequence, nearly, as Ruf already indicated, nearly all ICT systems are remotely, undetectably, and scalably compromisable, also by hackers and various criminal entities not necessarily sophisticated. So this is then the problem, because we don't have cybersecurity. We don't have meaningful cyber privacy, because there will be entities who can always read our sensitive data, who cannot target our computers and have access to the data. And of course, it can become a more general problem than just a personal problem, because sensitive data include industrial secrets, and also leakage of personal data can lead to blackmails, and then later to pressures to reveal industrial secrets and other sensitive data. So it is a very, very complicated situation. And then the cyber attacks, as a consequence on all of this, grow and evolve dramatically. So this is also a problem, how to provide cybersecurity generally, in spite of these cyber criminals and hackers and other similar attackers. So let me spend a few words about backdoors and key recovery. So there is a fine line between key recovery and backdoors, so I would not like to call key recovery backdoor, which is typically because backdoors have negative meaning, but under some conditions, key recovery can have a positive meaning. So if we want to reconcile all these cyber dimensions, security dimensions, there are no miracles there. So we need to clearly understand the situation and the technology. So basically, we are dealing here with a security chain in ICT systems. It consists of humans, organizational processes on the top, then crypto algorithms and protocols, because you achieve security by crypto. Then crypto key generation and management, so you need secret keys for that. Then you need to implement in software, in hardware, and then you need a hosting device or facility. So this is a chain, and this chain is as strong as its weakest link. So basically backdoors, they can enable access to unprotected data, even if there is crypto there, used for protection, can exist anywhere in the chain. And in fact, they imply a radical insecurity of ICT systems, especially if you have backdoors in software or hardware, because they totally compromise the device. It's not only some application. Crypto keys by themselves should be known only, so that's a definition in crypto, to authorized entities, like endpoint user, but not necessarily only endpoint user, and infeasible to recover by unauthorized entities. So this is a definition, and if this is the case, so the system should be secure, practically or heuristically. If crypto keys are securely stored and accessible only by authorized entities, so this is the situation of secure ICT system, then the ICT system is not rendered insecure by such storage of keys. So key recovery then should not be considered as backdoor. So if you allow authorized entities other than the endpoint user to have access to keys, it's not a backdoor. Some people call it indeed a front door. So this is quite a legitimate solution, and it's in accordance with the definition of crypto security. So let me say a few words about shared key escrow. For lawful access exceptional data access. Authorized entities can include law enforcement agencies, intelligence agencies, or judicial authorities. And conditions for key recovery, so if you include if you allow access of these entities to key, the conditions for key recovery should be extremely clearly defined and strictly controlled. For example, that a targeted end user is under criminal investigation for lawful interception. For legitimate, focused, or targeted lawful access, key recovery should relate to ephemeral session key. So it's not to the whole device by itself. It should relate to the session key of a given session in some application where data is protected. In practice, how do you achieve that? So I'm talking about shared key escrow. Each user has a master public key used for encrypting each session key. So you can append this to the encrypted data. For example, if you are talking about encryption of data, we can also extend this to other crypto applications like anonymity protocols. And then the corresponding user master private key can be used to decrypt this encrypted session key. You in fact do not store in shared key escrow. You don't deposit the private key, master private key, but it's shares. They are shared among independent entities. So independence is the key word here. They are called escrow agents. And then there is yet another important thing. There is no need, in fact, to recover the private key, because in that case, you don't have forward or backward secrets. You can recover all the session keys. Also after, for example, if after the criminal investigation a person is acquitted, you can have access to all in the future to all session keys. So this can be achieved by threshold crypto. It enables session key recovery without recovering user master private key. Each escrow agent is doing partial decryption using key shares. So there is no need to pull the shares together. You can combine this partial decryption and obtain the session key. So this way you achieve focused or targeted lawful access. So, and you can avoid, because there is some effort in this, there is some need for these agents to communicate, to get together. You avoid mass surveillance this way. So this solution is better than backdoors. Because it can be free of abuses and widely accepted under the following conditions. This is in fact the topic of challenge A, if this is possible or not. So the conditions are that this shared key escrow should be securely implemented by an ultra-high assurance ICT system, free of backdoors or other non-exploitable vulnerabilities. Is it possible or not to build such systems? That's a point of challenge A. It should not be mandated by the state, so unlike common practices, proposals, but voluntarily accepted by ultra-high assurance ICT providers. Not regulated, designed, or standardized or certified by the state, because state officials are subject to pressures and whatever abuses. We should really have independent escrow agents, for example, for shared key escrow. Not universal for all ICT systems, but reserved only for ultra-high assurance ICT devices and services for wide market use. Completely transparent and accountable to general public. So these are the conditions for this shared key escrow to be better than backdoors. The point is how to regulate. We need these ultra-high assurance ICT systems. We propose, we'll talk about that tomorrow, the establishment of an independent international trustless certification and standardization authority. So a few words about trustless ICT. So it is related to this certification and standardization by this authority of ultra-high assurance ICT critical subsystems should be cost-effective, So this is the point, and practical, and should relate to all elements of the security chain, to all components, including endpoint devices, so it's a holistic approach, servers, hosting facilities, as well as to all processes in the life cycle of an ICT product or service, including design, implementation, fabrication, oversight, auditing, and organization. In particular, it should relate to critical subsystems, so not necessarily all the system, because it need not be. For a start, emphasis can be put on software and hardware security, because they are responsible for most existing vulnerabilities and backdoors, and also to organizational processes. Instead of being based mainly, so I'm talking about trustless ICT, about trustless computing, instead of being based mainly on reputation and best practices, which is a sort of subjective component of trust, and deceptive in digital security because data is easy to copy, ultra-high assurance should be based on trustworthy technologies and processes and real-time auditing and verification. Very quickly, I also see advanced crypto, very important for these ultra-high assurance solutions. We should really speed up standardization and wide use of already available and practical advanced crypto techniques for cyber privacy, cyber security, and cyber investigation. Standard crypto is like encryption, message integrity, digital signatures and protocols and so on. But there are advanced techniques. They're not new. They have been around for quite a while, but they are not widely used. And they should really improve a lot a situation in data protection. So very briefly, secret sharing, secure multi-party computation, practical fully homomorphic encryption. People believe that that's not possible. We'll see after lunch in a keynote a presentation on new solutions for fully homomorphic encryption that have been also developed within EIT Digital by a French CEALIST institution. Anonymity protocols, then attribute-based encryption, searchable encryption. For example, searchable encryption can allow cyber surveillance and cyber investigation by searching through encrypted data. And then, of course, it slows down a bit the search, but this is what we want for focused cyber surveillance. So I don't spend more time on that. Let me finish with business prospects, because is this realistic? Also, this certification body, international, I believe that it is realistic. For example, let's consider this situation like with WhatsApp, end-to-end encryption in WhatsApp, 1 billion users worldwide. So we already have end-to-end encryption, data protection, and so. Existing powerful ICT providers lack ultra-high assurance and are prone to backdoors, even if they provide end-to-end encryption or anonymity solutions for wide market without key escrow. You don't know if this WhatsApp solution is end-to-end if there are no backdoors. So you don't know. And people are not aware generally of that. And in fact, people do not have a choice. Certified ultra-high assurance ICT systems that we would like to build and design can attract a wide customer base. I'm talking about business. By being trustless and free of backdoors, and hence resistant to cyber attacks even by most sophisticated adversaries, while at the same time being compliant with legislation regulating the exceptional access to data for cyber investigation under transparent and verifiable conditions. So this is how you can attract customers, because it is free of backdoors, and it can allow this exceptional access only under strictly controlled and transparent conditions. Wide usage, of course, will bring down the cost to acceptable levels. Remember, we promote this as voluntary practice, not mandated by the state. Also, there is yet another important component which is related to challenge C. Digital security will be boosted by currently insecure, smart, autonomous, and other artificial intelligence devices and systems, connected cars and these unmanned vehicles, autonomous and so on. For wide usage, where security breaches have a profound societal impact with possibly dramatic consequences. So we really need these high assurance security device systems for these applications. I'm finished in, I will finish in 2 slides. Just a few words about EIT Digital Action Line for Privacy. In this security and trust, in this period from 2013 to 2016, where I was an action line leader. So it has a goal to promote innovation activities, 1-year innovation activities, concrete business solutions in terms of products and services to be put on the market. Then there is a business community, the second goal, to sell these solutions, to fight customers. Then also entrepreneurial education through summer school and raising awareness. This event is also about raising awareness. So the strategy of the action line in this period was to address cybersecurity and privacy proactively by deploying trustworthy and transparent innovative technologies, bridging the gaps between available techniques and practice, as well as reactively, so not so proactively and reactively, by attack detection and mitigation techniques. So this is related very much, this attack detection and mitigation, to cyber monitoring and cyber surveillance and security operations centers and emergency response teams and so on. So this is very important, but by itself it cannot provide solution to digital security and digital privacy. And by itself it may also be in contrast with privacy, because you allow some entities, you entrust some entities with your data to be protected against other criminals, cyber criminals, hackers, and so on. Promote security by design and privacy by design. Foster both cyber privacy and cyber security. Develop and put into practice cost-effective certification auditing procedures, like for software and hardware. In synergy with other European organizations, influence EU legislation authorities to improve data protection laws, enable lawful and focused cyber investigations, so not mass cyber surveillance. And let, this is the bottom line, let data security and privacy become business opportunity rather than obstacle, because ultimately in EIT Digital our objective is to promote business and also improve quality of life by new solutions in this area of digital security and privacy. Thank you very much for your attention. So this is sort of introduction to the challenges and the panels, and then we can proceed with panels and discussions and questions there. So not now. Thank you.